Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Wednesday, and it's April 12th. We have one meeting today, and that'll be at 9:30 this morning. It's the GRF Maintenance and Construction Committee, and that will be in the boardroom. Now, on our show today, we have our Director of Security, Eric Nunez, and he is going to give us an overview of what's been going on with security, as well as what's coming up and all of the exciting new things that are happening here in our village. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our weather. Well, we have got, gosh, it was a little rainy this morning, just a little heavy mist for you with this overcast clouds today, but it looks like it's going to stay that way pretty much throughout the whole day. 61-50 tomorrow, 58-48, 62-48, 67-51 with sunny skies, and then 66-51. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:24, and our sunset will be at 7:20, and never can go wrong with a photo down by the beach. So very nice sunset photo there. All right, and just a little let you know, stay informed that the new cloud-based system, Hydro Point Weather Track System, is going to be the reliable cellular communication, and also has modern control systems. GRF will receive over $350,000 in rebates by putting in this system. So if you see folks around the area replacing sprinkler systems, this is what it's going to do. So saving money and using new technology. All right, when we come back, we will have our Director of Security, Eric, so stick around.
At Genesis of Laguna Niguel, we care about every customer and treat you like family. So think of us kind of like a good grandson. We take our time to go over all your new Genesis's technology features, step by step, all in the comfort of our showroom while enjoying complimentary refreshments. Or if you prefer, we can deliver your new Hyundai and cover everything in person. It's that easy. For a simply better buying and ownership experience, visit Genesis of Laguna Niguel.
The Salvation Army Orange County is committed to building hope in people's lives rather than just more shelters. The Center of Hope, a comprehensive homeless care solution, combines a 325-bed emergency shelter, 72 permanent supportive housing apartments, on-site medical, dental, vision, and mental health care, and an award-winning drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. Donate today to transform lives, create safer neighborhoods, and provide an opportunity to end chronic homelessness in Orange County.
Diane's Hallmark in Laguna Niguel is now an Elam's Hallmark, and we are excited to be part of your community. We have just remodeled, and you will be surprised by the wide variety of fashion and accessories, home decor, collectibles, Disney, Peanuts, Harry Potter, and Star Wars, along with the largest Hallmark card selection in town. Stop in today and sign up for our Crown Rewards program and get a free Just Because card. Once a member, you can get a free card once a month. Elam's Hallmark, your neighborhood gift store.
Are you or someone you know facing financial challenges from unexpected emergency expenses? The foundation of Laguna Woods Village can provide the temporary help you need. Meals on Wheels, adult day services, dental services, medical alert services, and ambulance contracts. Contact the Village Social Services at 949-597-4267 to see if you qualify. Neighbors helping neighbors. The mission of the foundation of Laguna Woods Village.
Welcome back. Well, as I mentioned, we have our Director of Security here, Eric Nunez. Well, welcome. Nice to see you again.
Well, thank you, Lisa.
It's been a while, and you know, according to your slides, looks like you've been doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So, so today we're going to have a security update, and basically it's all of your centers and what you're responsible for. So I'll just let you start.
Sure. A lot of people don't know, probably in the village, that that the work centers 220 and 210, which is social services and then compliance, are actually under the umbrella of security services.
Okay.
And then we have the security department that works under security services. And so as their director, Obviously, I'm not a subject matter expert in those specific fields, especially social services, but I work with them in helping them to get the resources that they need, and to make sure that I help them with any of the personnel issues that they have.
Okay.
The only updates that I can give you right now with regard to social services is, unfortunately, we're losing our manager of operations there, Susan McInerney, and she is just, it's a big hit.
Sure.
But we're working diligently on getting that replaced. In fact, we have an interview this Friday
Okay.
with somebody, a really strong candidate, and hopefully it works out.
Okay.
And all these people do, in social services, you have 6 people that are doing all this work in that
Yes.
building for our members, and do such a great job in conjunction with the Laguna Woods Foundation, helping to support that, and the Council on Aging, and it's really been a great partnerships that she has helped to foster and create. So we're going to miss her.
Yeah.
With Work Area 210 or Work Center 210 is our compliance, which there are a number of people that know what compliance is because of all the issues that happen out there, and they get little letters telling them that correct this issue and things, and sometimes those will, if they don't, obviously they lead up to disciplinary hearings and such, and hopefully we gain compliance before that. But with them, the good thing for us in that, and the update that I have, is that last budget cycle we actually were approved in the 2023 business plan to recruit and hire a extra investigator for us in compliance, which we have one already, which will help with all those things like clutter and being out to be more proactive for those kinds of issues than we currently are.
Okay.
And so, and we're recruiting for that right now, and there are people being interviewed. So, fingers crossed, we get somebody really good soon and get them trained up and be able to help us out in compliance.
Okay. Fantastic.
So when I talked to VMS actually a couple weeks ago about this, Village Management Services, the focus of the update was really centered around Work Center 400, which is security. With that, I will tell you that there are a number of personnel issues that we have going on, which are reflective in vacancies.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and we have 1 supervisor vacancy, 6 security patrol officer vacancies, 3 full-time dispatchers. And just to give you an idea what that is, that we typically say with the supervisors, we have 8 supervisors. And so we're having that 1 is a little bit of a hit for us right now. We had 2, but we just hired 1 and he's in training, so we feel grateful for that. Security patrol officers, we have 14 that were
I was going to ask you how many. So you have 14 total.
14 total.
Okay.
And 3 what we call traffic units. So when you have 6 down, you have a lot of people that are having to work a lot of overtime, a lot of supervisors covering shifts and whatnot, but we're making it work. And then we have 5 full-time dispatchers and 6 part-time dispatchers. So the 3 full-time dispatchers is a significant hit, and we need those to be replaced. It's just, it's not your typical security outfit out here with our dispatching. It's more very similar to law enforcement in the way that they dispatch, because we have a 24/7 operation. They're taking calls for services plus just regular calls. They probably take about, their call service center probably takes about 70,000 calls a year.
Wow.
And out of those, about 30,000 wind up being incident reports or things that we have to send officers out to.
Okay.
Specifically. So that's it in terms of our personnel. The one good, it's a really great shining light for us, is we have a disaster preparedness coordinator that happens to be a resident member here, and his name is Ed Green.
Okay.
And he's been assisting me with the Disaster Preparedness Task Force and organizing meetings with clubhouse coordinators, doing a great job.
Great.
In his former life, he was the emergency manager for Long Beach Harbor.
Oh, great.
So he definitely knows his stuff, and he definitely has been around a big operation before. And
Fantastic.
just a great guy.
Okay, good. Now, will he be, he's just temporary, or he be more on a permanent basis?
This is a permanent role, but it's a part-time role.
Sure.
Yeah, so, and obviously we have to fit it around his schedule sometimes, but yeah, we're really grateful that he's on
Good.
board.
Well, we'll have to get him on.
Yeah, we will, because that's one of the things that I've actually asked of him, is to come on to Channel 6 and be able to, meet the folks and let them know what he's doing and what we're trying to accomplish in the disaster task force.
Yeah, it's a critical area because we talk about disasters all the time, and we have the fire department on, and of course we sometimes have folks from the Orange County Sheriff's Department just to talk about, kind of what's on people's minds or the concerns, to be ahead of the game, right?
Right, and that's what he's also being tasked to do, is help me with working with coordinating with the two biggest partners that we have in the disaster preparedness arena. So the fire department is our fire authority, and the sheriff's department.
Great, perfect.
And then I have on here next is one of the things I touched on is whenever you go to an organization, you talk about, hey, what's wrong with the organization? The first thing that comes up is communications, right? And not enough training. And so, and I realized over the years that I have prior to coming here that there are a couple reasons why people don't do the job they're supposed to do. One is they don't have, haven't been given the tools, they haven't been given the training, or they just don't have the proper motivation. And so, since I've been here, we've created this supervisor designed training that happens monthly. Curriculum, so that we're training and briefing with our officers, our security patrol officers. That didn't really happen on a regular basis before, so that's happening now. We have quarterly meetings that I'm conducting with our supervision and management. That's been a little bit hit and miss this past year, but we're on track now. We want to make sure that we meet quarterly so that everybody is on the same page in delivering the services that we deliver. And quite frankly, we don't like to have complaints, but we get them, right? Some of them are reasonable and justifiable, but some are just not. There's no room or tolerance for the mistakes that have been made, and they are mistakes. So, how we get better is to be able to get together and talk about those things, and then just chalkboard them and figure out what went wrong in the process, and that all requires these types of meetings. Right. The other meetings where we had our administrative supervisor conducting quarterly meetings with our security, our dispatch and security patrol officers. That was already in place before I got here, as well as the weekly meetings with the various work centers. As a director, I meet with all the managers of operations for the three work centers that I described earlier.
Okay, all right, great. And then I know that you mentioned here gate ambassador supervisor trainings as well, and our gate ambassadors are often our residents.
The vast majority of them are residents, thankfully, and they do a really good job. It's been a tough job. I think later on in this presentation I'll talk a little bit about Gate 12, which was a big thing here, and we're still working through a lot of stuff with that, and was really tough on the gate ambassadors working that gate. And they were saying, how many complaints are you getting about that? And I said, well, there are a number of complaints which have been greatly reduced, but it seemed like the majority of complaints were coming from the gate ambassadors themselves. So we actually had a meeting with all the gate ambassadors and rovers to figure out what the issues were. Perfect.
Well, we'll get to that in just a bit. So now you have a few things. Wow, relocating the security operations. Now, has that happened?
That has happened. It happened on the 8th, just prior to Easter Sunday. We had a professional company come out, and they moved our offices over next door, actually. And then, and so that, like I said, that we've got boxes everywhere. So we're in disarray for a little bit, but thank goodness that our technology group here has been really working hard to get us all connected and back online, and so that we can serve our communities. I'll talk about that in more detail in just a second. And secondly, we had we thought we would take advantage of this opportunity because we had purchased some technology regarding dispatch. And it's called like a computer-aided dispatch and records management system. And we figured, well, wait to this move, and then once we make the move, we'll bring all the new stuff over and do it. So it worked out for us. And then, as I said, we're gonna, the other issue is performing a Gate 12 overview.
Okay.
So relocating our security operations, where we are is, like on your screen, I believe, is at 24361 El Toro Roads, and we're up, they call it the second level because the first level is the parking.
Oh, the garage, yeah.
Yeah, the garage. So it's really the third level up, but it's number 2 if you hit the elevator there. And it's a very nice facility, very professional, and just enough space for us to make do with what we got going on. We had some logistic issues. Obviously, when you're a 24/7 operation, you can't shut down for any really significant amount of time.
Right.
So what IT has helped us do is establish a dispatch center, a temporary dispatch center, and a work center for our officers and our watch commander, so that they can actually continue doing the work and be hooked up to the systems. It's here in the building on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
And it looks like we'll probably be operating out of there. And we did this on, I'll back up. We did this on April 3rd. So we had 5 days to make sure everything was working smoothly. And then before the 8th, when we moved and took everything down.
Okay.
And we'll probably be up there, I believe, until about the 28th, when all the furniture and everything that needs to be put in place is established. So.
Okay. And how long do you plan to be in that facility for a while?
My understanding is we have a 2-year lease.
Okay.
In which we're doing a study on just a space study for this building, to see how many people we can actually move here, if that's the plan, or do we still need to build another building, say where building E currently sits, and if it's taken down, and where we're going to build a new building and all that.
Right.
So before we even talk about building, they want to make sure that that we're fully utilizing the space that we have available.
Okay.
And then and that's about it. I mean, we had some. We don't have all of our security vehicles over here. Some are still at the other lot. But the ones that are necessary for us to make sure that we have a timely response from the building, down from and reporting out. So, but all of our admin people have moved over to the new building.
All right, excellent. Now I was looking at the next slide, new CAD and RMS technology, and this is obviously the new technology that you're talking about. So if I was to compare it to something that we might see with the Sheriff's Department dispatch, is it similar?
Very similar.
Okay.
Not as robust, obviously, but it is very similar in that when I got here, I was like asking for response times to what I call like critical calls, right?
Sure.
Priority 1, right? Calls, and so we didn't even. It's not inputted that way, and there's a lot of factors involved that those times can be skewed and improperly reported because, and I was getting different numbers and working with that, and so you had to wind up trying to go through almost every call to figure out what happened. And like I was telling you, you have 30,000 of those calls, and that's just impossible. So what it does for me is it helps me to be able to mine information easily. Also input, because data, garbage in and garbage out, right? You have to have the proper inputting of that data, so that it's universal. Everybody understands what all these codes are. They all mean the same thing, and the definition. So I'm able to do the metrics that are necessary to properly measure our performance, as a security service and delivery system for the village.
How often do our residents call you instead of the Sheriff's Department, thinking that you guys are going to handle everything?
Yeah, I mean, that happens pretty much almost all the time. They'll call us first. And a lot of times where there is a theft, like we've had bicycles, even cars, we tell them, we need to call the Sheriff's Department immediately so that they're brought on, because we'll always go out to those calls. We'll always take our reports, incident reports. But for anything that's an actual crime, the Sheriff's Department has to be notified for them to actually make a record of it, to understand there is an issue possibly here with that, and to use more resources so they understand they have to allocate more resources, as well as investigate the crime itself, and hopefully, come to a solution for that.
So is there collaboration between the security department and the sheriff's department? So for instance, if a resident was to call you directly, do you have a means to contact the sheriff's department for them, or is it up to the resident to do that? Or how does that all work?
Well, it depends on the nature of the incident,
Okay.
right? If it's one of those critical things where we need them to get out there, we will have our dispatch. We
Okay.
contact the sheriff's department for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, excellent. Let's move on to your Gate 12 update, because I know people just can't wait to hear about it.
All right. And I don't blame them. One of the things that when Gate 12 was put up there, because it didn't lead directly into any residential areas, it already had a different view or ideology in how they were going to manage that gate. And one of the things that they knew is that, and it didn't have a long queue up to the actual gate house, right? And so, so what they didn't do is they didn't, and it's a very small, narrow one, so they didn't put in an actual kiosk, which has all the computer stuff that, screen in the computer and be able to check people in that way. They had an app that's running out there.
Right.
And so one of the things that I've done since we became aware of this issue is we ordered a kiosk. It should be delivered here within the next couple of weeks, and I believe, and then our IT folks will help, install it, which will give them the ability to have passes that are checked in and such. And one of the other things, speaking of passes, is we're having our IT folks look at the a Gate 12 access pass, kind of like how we have overnight parking passes, to have a drop down for that where you would say, Gate 12 access, and then they would be able to print out that pass, and then as they come up, the visitors would be able to show that. And if we can, also, we're looking at the handheld technology for scanning that pass, so they can just reach out there.
Absolutely.
Boom, they're in.
Yeah.
And then with the cameras that we already have there, that automatically read license plates, it would be inputted into the system, just like every other gatehouse is. And so having that option will help, I believe, expedite the flow of traffic.
Okay.
Less time, having to actually talk to people and tell them, this is what I need, show me this, show me that, and then for them. So that's one of the things that we're doing that's more of a long-term solution. On the short term, what we did, we started having security actually visiting that area, doing more patrols, and actually parking like almost behind the gatehouse itself. And so that high visibility, people can see that there's a security person there. So they're not just running the gate sometimes. And that was happening where people just were driving right through.
Oh, heavens.
Yeah, and obviously there's a risk, management issue with that, for our ambassadors.
Right.
And just security, just making sure that people are properly vetted before they enter. And we've also, besides that, we're looking at things like RFID readers, because there is no gate arm there to stop people.
Right.
And quite frankly, if there were, it might be actually more cumbersome to wait for the gate to open and people and slow down traffic.
Yeah.
So, but we're working in every way to try to figure out what the solutions are and better solutions. And one of the things, the biggest lesson I've learned from this is to actually go to the gatehouse ambassadors that work that gate and tell me what's working and what's not working.
Right.
Because we had two people actually, at first we put two people in there and they told me this is not the solution. It's not big enough for two people.
Right.
And it was during that inclement weather, so we had somebody, that was not good.
Right. Well, you've got a lot of research involved with this, and it doesn't just stop there, because you have lane, maybe different types of lanes and a lot of other things that go into play. So it requires a lot of people. So
So we're looking at all that.
excellent, excellent. What a great review. Thank you so much for all the great information, and good luck to you in finding all of the people that you need to replace. And of course, you guys are doing a great job with what you've got.
Well, thank you. And HR is doing a great job for us too. Put a plug in for them because they're working hard for us.
Excellent.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much.
If you have any questions regarding anything that we have discussed, you can always send an email to generalmanager@vmsinc.org, and of course it will be sent off to the appropriate person. We'll be right back.
No matter what type of severe asthma you have, ThisDay can help you have fewer asthma attacks and breathe better. ThisDay is an add-on treatment for people 12 and over. It is not a rescue medication. Don't take ThisDay if you're allergic to it. Allergic reactions may occur and can be serious. Rash or eye allergy can happen. Don't stop your asthma treatments unless your doctor tells you to. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection or your asthma worsens. Sore throat, joint, and back pain may occur. Avoid live vaccines. No matter who you are, ask your asthma specialist about ThisDay today.
Orcam Read empowers people with low vision.
Sometimes reading can be a challenge. With Orcam Read, just point and click. Read at work. Read a recipe. Read a magazine. Read anything you want. Orcam Read.
Life, a series of moments. A touch, a look, a laugh. Successful people. It might not be superior imagination. It just might be superior retirement planning. Imagine what's next. Plan today, own tomorrow.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the movies we have for you. On Friday, we have Enchanted April, and that is going to be available at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without. And then on Saturday, we have Jimmy and Stevie Ray Vaughan, which is a documentary called Brothers in Blues, and you can see it on Saturday, 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles. Let's take a look at our weather real quick. Well, we are going to have a cloudy day today, but it's going to be on and off cloudy for the remainder of the week and into the weekend. 61-50, 58-48, 62-48, 67-51, and 66-51. Have a great day in the Village, and we'll see you again tomorrow right here on Village Television at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.